Welcome to another episode of Build Your Fort. And today's special guest is Miss Ashley Cockrell. She is a full-time nurse practitioner and a lifestyle blogger of mylivingspace.com. And, welcome, Ashley. Thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us tonight or today. And I really appreciate you, making space for us. So thank you.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited. I'm so thrilled and honored. Congratulations on your podcast. I mean, it's so exciting to see you doing amazing things. And I'm just excited to be here, to be honest with you. So thank you so much.
Well, I appreciate that. And another thanks to you. You're a nurse. I know times are hard right now in the medical field, and it takes a lot out of you all as people, as professionals. So I'm sending you good vibes to all of you and your coworkers that are out there taking care of our Americans out there, because it's a challenging time, especially for someone that is not only dealing with coronavirus, but the people who are caring for them. So, thank you so much.
I appreciate that. Thank you. It has been a year. I will say that. But honestly, that's, I know that's what I'm called to do. And so that's what keeps me fueled. And then also having, people like you to connect with after hours and things like my living spree to do in my spare time keeps me going. So thank you so much for that.
You're so very welcome. So, as you know, Build Your Fort is about telling the stories of people doing work that they love. And I knew immediately when I met you in Ghana, that there was something about you. There was a light that shined, and there was a spirit about you that was extremely infectious. And I don't know if people tell you that very often, but I think that. That's why you do the work that you do. So where does that radiance come from?
Honestly, it comes from within. And I know that sounds cliche, but it comes from within. And it took me a very long time to find my light within because it was so covered with darkness. I have a history of, depression and anxiety, to be honest with you. And there were times when I couldn't see the light. And I realized that the light that I was looking for was right inside of me. It was my essence. And I had to literally tap into it. So I found my voice. I started believing in who I was. And I started to believe in the gifts and talents that I naturally have as myself, as Ashley. And honestly, that's where my light comes from, and really having a genuine care for people and connection. I think that's one thing that I know that I've had since I was little. Like, I love to talk to people. I love to know, more about people, to find out their stories. And I think that genuine connection that I have with people comes from me just wanting to know more and wanting to, dig deeper. And so wow. I just started believing in myself in that. And I just continue to show up as myself authentically, no matter where I am. So whether we're in Ghana, whether we are in Houston, whether we're in the hospital, no matter where we are, I believe in being myself. And I encourage other people to do the same and figure out what their light is as well.
That's beautiful. So that was something you had to cultivate, and I think many people go through the things that you just mentioned,
yes.
The history, the trauma, the things that kind of shape us as people. Mm-hmm. But, we have to do things to kind of bring ourselves out of that. So what things did you do to cultivate yourself to be where you are today?
Yes, so that's a really good question, Lentheus. So my journey, I call it my journey of self-discovery. And that's where I get my living spree from. So it's my own personal self-care journey or journey of self-discovery. And it honestly began with travel. So back in 2015, I was really, experiencing some dark times in my life, to be honest with you. And I decided, I was like, I'm really not living. I'm not truly living the life that I know I was created to live. And it was because I wasn't doing the things that I love. Like, I love to travel. And I realized, I'm like, I haven't traveled in so long because I've just been working. I've been doing so many things for other people. I really need to figure out what I love and get back to that. And so I started traveling, and it was during my trip to Dubai. I went to Dubai in 2015.
Hmm.
And it was just like, it literally like exposed me to a whole new world, to be honest with you. And that new world honestly allowed me to see myself in a different light. And so I started to peel back the layers, and I really started to discover new things about me. And that's what inspired me to start to go for more and to dream again and to think of ideas like my blog that I have now, and think of ways to, empower people, empower women. And so honestly, I believe travel gave me the clarity that I needed for what was next for me and the gifts and talents that I need to utilize. And I really am a high advocate for travel, because it really introduces you to different parts of yourself, because you get to see yourself in a different light and in a different space. And you get to see how other people are living as well. And it's just so
Yes.
therapeutic. And I'm so glad that we met on a travel trip, because I do believe that we had some, fun experiences, but also some revelations, especially as we headed into 2020 in Ghana.
Yeah, that was a magical time. Unfortunately, I was extremely ill,
Mm-hmm.
but I still had the time of my life
Yes.
experiencing a new country that I've never been to, and bringing the new year in Ghana was like none other.
Yes.
Going to Afrochella, meeting the people on the trip. Those people I still keep in contact with, a few of them. We still have dialogue. We haven't had I have had one of them that have come to Atlanta, and we've had lunch.
Oh,
This was before the pandemic, but to be able to see you all still thriving, it just warms my soul. And when I go to the website and I see all of our pictures on there, I'm like, oh, those are my folks. Those are my peeps.
yes. Yes.
So give me an example how what you've cultivated, how has it served you, or how has it served others? Give me an example of how it served someone.
Well, I believe that honestly, I like it's a Nelson Mandela quote, and I hope I'm quoting it right. Don't knock me down if I'm not quoting this right, but it's something to.
Hey, this is a non-judgment zone. Do your thing.
I hope this is a safe space.
It is. This is a very safe place.
Okay, so the quote, and I'm going to paraphrase it loosely, but it basically says something to the effect of, you showing up as your full self gives others permission to do the same. And so I believe me showing up as my full self on these travel trips, talking to people, or people seeing me as a nurse practitioner who is doing other things in her life, or has other, creative outlets, or allowing herself to explore different parts of herself, is inspiring other people to do that same thing. So you find some of my friends who are teachers have been inspired to start their businesses in hair care, because they always, wanted to explore natural remedies for their scalp. Or there are friends who have always wanted to be personal coaches who are starting coaching businesses. And I'm continuing to build that network and help them to, reach those next levels in their business by connecting them with other people in business so that they can thrive. Because one thing I believe, Lentheus, is community is everything. And so
Yes.
I think one thing that I have spread and I have helped people to do is cultivate community. And I think there's so much power in bringing people together and giving them the tools and the resources that they need so they can get to the next level. And I
That
think
is wonderful.
out of your comfort zone, when you see somebody else like, wow, like this person is doing it, they're stepping out of their comfort zone and doing something more. There's so much freedom that you give permission to other people to do that exact same thing. So I'm
How about that?
you, like, you starting this podcast and doing this is helping other people like realize that they have gifts and things and dreams that they have that they might have been putting on the back burner that they might need to put, in the forefront.
Yes, and I still have my my living spree booklet that you gave us all in Ghana, and many of the notes that I needed to write down and begin cultivating for myself, I wrote them down in that book, and I've held on to it since the pandemic. Before the pandemic, we brought 2020 into just a few months afterwards, the pandemic hit. So that was an opportunity to begin using that booklet as a way to cultivate my own living spree. I've done
Yes.
so many things over the years, but those things have culminated to this, and I'm happy for it.
Yes, I'm excited. Thank you so much. That really warms my heart. And it's really about like you being the best version of yourself. And sometimes that looks like you saying no to things. So maybe not
No,
always saying yes. Sometimes you need to rest, because I've had waves in my life when I've tried to do everything on my living spree. And I'm like, girl, the thing that you need to do right now is rest. The thing that you need to do right now is slow down. The thing that
yes,
you need to do is all the lessons that you learn in the self-development. You need to you need to reflect on that so that you can actually apply it. Because there's a lot of application that we need to do with the experiences and the lessons that we learn and we take in. And I think we need to give ourselves grace and space to do that. And sometimes if we continue to, move all the time, we don't allow ourselves to fully embody all of the lessons and the wisdom that we have gained through the experiences that we've gone through. So there's like another component to the living spree of rest. I am a advocate for rest and balance and figuring out what that looks like for you too.
wonderful. We're going to hashtag grace and space. Let's hashtag grace and space. I like that.
Space, absolutely.
So, and and I've got, of course, I've looked at your website and I've seen a lot of things, and it's absolutely beautiful. First of all, it's absolutely beautiful and inspiring a website. And there's a quote I'm going to get to that I read of yours, and we're going to talk about that in a few. But I want to ask you a question about, you began your career as a midwife, a nurse midwife,
Yes.
from what I understand. What steered you towards the practice of midwifery?
That is a good question. And that's a little known fact not many people know. So I know you really read. I know you really read the website.
I do my homework, my friend.
You did your homework. And that's one of those questions where, in the icebreakers, they say, if you really know me, you know that. And I always say I'm a midwife, because not many people know that. But yeah, so midwifery, I remember being a little girl. My great grandmother, I'm from Birmingham, Alabama, by the way. My great grandmother, she had 14 children that she literally delivered. She birthed 14 children into this world. And I remember having a conversation with her on the front porch at her home in Birmingham. And I was like, how did you have your babies? Like, did you have C-sections? Like, she was like, I had a midwife. She said, we didn't have hospitals back then. She was originally from Lowndes County, Alabama, which is the country. We call it the country. And she said, we didn't have hospitals. I had a midwife and I had my babies at home. And I'm like, in my mind, I was just mind blown. It was mind boggling to think that the power of a woman to bring 14 children into this world naturally. And some of them unfortunately did not survive, but for the most part, I know that 12, at least about 12 children survived, and she raised. And I just thought that was so phenomenal. So I went down, like, from then I was so motivated and inspired. I said, I want to be a midwife, because I want to be with women during the most pivotal time in their life to help them to bring life into this world, because it's just so powerful. And I want to be an advocate for women to have whatever type of birth experience they want to have, because again, I believe in the power of women, in that women can do whatever they want to do and the baby is going to come. And so that inspired me, and I've just been obsessed with it since then. And so midwifery is my first love.
Listen, as we all know, and the statistics, and I've been reading them, that Black women have a high rate of death in childbirth.
Yes.
And so what you do and your passion for it is so needed, especially having a person of color, in this profession and helping women bring these little lives into the world. We thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I love it. And I think it just stems from me wanting to be with women no matter what, like whether it's birthing a business or whether it's birthing a child. Like, I just really have a passion for helping women. And that's my love. That's my true love.
It's so funny you say that. That was one of my questions. It's like serving others, particularly women. That is your passion. That's your purpose. Would you say is your person, your purpose?
Absolutely. That's my purpose. I know that that's my purpose, and it really just depends on at whatever capacity or what assignment I'm on. Because I do believe in seasons and assignments. So, in one stage of my life, I may be here serving women. In one stage of my life, I might be there. And sometimes it might be through my blog. But no matter what, I show up as Ashley. Like, I empower women no matter where I am. And it took a journey. It took me some time to detach my profession and my career with like my identity, if that makes sense. So like who I am, I carry that with me no matter where I go. So I'm not like Ashley this here and then I'm a completely different person somewhere else. I'm just Ashley, no matter whatever role or whatever arena I'm serving in.
And that's the way it should be.
Mm-hmm.
We wouldn't have it any other way than you being who you are authentically. Absolutely. And that's an important message to so many people out there, is to be who you are and don't be ashamed of who you are. Yeah. Just show up.
Yes, absolutely.
You work hard all year long, so why not get more for your money at Experamax Midtown Atlanta? Looking for a MacBook Pro, iMac, or iPad? Don't pay full retail prices at the Apple Store when you can get the same quality products without the premium price. Experamax in Midtown Atlanta is your Apple headquarters, with everything from Apple desktops to laptops, watches, accessories, and more. Get the peace of mind you deserve and buy with confidence, knowing that all of Experamax certified pre-owned products are put through rigorous testing to make sure they deliver the reliability and dependability you demand. Experamax Midtown Atlanta makes it easy and affordable. Plus, you can trade in your old devices and get an offer right on the spot. So shop smarter and save money only at Experamax Midtown Atlanta.
So, mylivingspree.com.
Yes.
Tell me about that. How did you come up with that idea?
Yes. So again, when I was in Dubai in 2015, and I discovered, I said, you know what? On that trip, I just had so much clarity. I said I was not living the life that I really truly felt like I deserved. I was bogged down with work. I, was in really tough relationships, traumatic relationships. I had, not a tight friend circle here in Houston. I had just moved to Houston. And it was just a really tough time. So I decided that at that point, at that trip in Dubai, because I felt a breath of life revived inside of me during that travel, I said, you know what? This is what I'm missing. I'm missing doing what I love. I miss, getting dressed up or expressing myself through fashion. I miss traveling. I miss connecting with community and women. I miss speaking. I miss, doing photo shoots. Like I was like, I'm going to start doing everything that I know I love to do and that I'm passionate about doing and that brings me joy. And I'm going to revive my joy. And so it was my journey of self-discovery and recovery. And I decided to document it. And so that's how I decided to come on to start a blog, because I wanted others to come along this journey with me and hopefully to figure out what their journey would be as well. So in my Living Spree blog, you're going to find the fashion, you're going to find my travel experiences, you're going to find empowering messages. But the main message through all of that is the importance of mental health and self-care, the importance of, developing and cultivating confidence in oneself outside of what the society tells you, outside of external validation, the inner work that's important, preparing for, what's coming. It's really all about self-development and self-discovery.
And I can tell that you now have that tight, close knit of friends. I'll be watching. I see y'all taking your pictures. I see y'all gathering. I see you all working out. Yeah. I see you all coming together as a community. It's a wonderful thing to see. How do you tell those women? What do you say to them when you're speaking life into them? What do you tell them when it comes to how they live their best life?
So I tell them that you have to figure out, one, it's important to find your voice. So you have to find your voice, and that takes inner work. Okay. That takes you really going inside and discovering, like, who is Ashley? What does she like? How does she talk authentically? Not, like authentically, how does she talk? How does she show up? What brings her joy? What are her non-negotiables in life? Like really getting to know yourself, and that takes spending time with yourself. So finding your voice. 2, I say figuring out what season you're in, because there are some seasons when you are to receive and you're just supposed to, listen and go within. But then there are some seasons where it's time to get up and get out of your comfort zone because you've been sitting there for too long. You have everything you need. Now it's time to go forth and do the things that you know you need to do next, right? So that's 2. And then 3, make sure that you have a community of support of people around you that are going to hold you accountable to the things that you need to do to be better in life, and that are going to support you genuinely. Not people that are just around for fair weather, not people that are flaky, but people that are genuine, that are going to give you grace, but that are going to also call you out when you're not on track. And it's a balance, because I have my friend, I'm like, okay, girl, I understand we're going to give grace, but let's make sure that tomorrow we get back on it, or we're doing whatever we said we were going to do. And so I think those 3 things is the starting point. Make sure you find your voice, realize what season you're in, and figure out how to cultivate a community of support to help you to get to the next level.
Yo, that is the blueprint. Thank you. That is the blueprint. So the quote that I found of yours is like, it says, "My mission in life is not merely to survive, but to thrive, and to do so with some passion, compassion, and style." Is that ingrained in your brain?
It is ingrained in my brain, and I'm going to give credit to Maya Angelou for that quote. I love a good quote now. I love that quote. And I really think that truly embodies what my mission is. And especially with my living spree, because I really think that we are put on this earth more than to just survive. We are meant to thrive. We're meant to live the life that God has really called us to live. And that's not a life of lack. That's a life of abundance. It's the mindsets that we have that put us in, scarce places where we think we don't deserve, or where we are settling, or where we are playing small, or where we are not going for the best that we know we can go for, or becoming our best. And so I really believe that we are not here for a very long time, Lentheus, as we have seen in 2020. Like, life is so fragile. And so we have a very limited time in the grand scheme of things to live it to its fullest, whatever that looks like for you. Some people want to build empires. Some people just want to be able to come home and spend quality time with their family. Some people, and it really just depends on what that looks like for you. But I believe that is my mission. I love that quote.
Yes. Love it.
Yes.
Would you say that at this point in your life that you are living that quote in your everyday life?
Absolutely. I believe that as of today, I am. Now, it has taken me a journey, because I have had some times where I felt like I could barely breathe.
Wow.
I felt like I was simply surviving, or that I didn't want to survive. Like, I've had some very low places. And so it took me to be at rock bottom to discover, like, no, I deserve better. And I'm going to tell you my turning point. And I share this a lot, in my talks, because I really want to be transparent, and I hope this helps someone. But in my darkest moments of depression, in 2016, where I found myself at my lowest, I knew I needed help. And that help, I'm a Christian, I'm spiritual, I know how to pray, but I knew I needed more, and that came in the form of a therapist. I met a therapist at a conference like a couple of years prior to, And I said, I've never had a therapist before, but I'm going to keep her card in case I need it. And I remember sitting on my couch in my 2-bedroom apartment years ago, and I said, I need to find her card. I found her card, and I called her, and I said, we meet the very next day? And from that day forward, I committed myself to doing the work mentally with my therapist, journaling, talking to myself, like encouraging myself, like all of the homework she gave me, spending time by myself. And it took me years. It took me years to get out of that place, to unlearn, to relearn, to forgive myself, to forgive other people. And I can say today, yes, I am thriving. I am thriving. Of course, I have bad days. Who doesn't? Like you probably saw me earlier, like on the struggle bus. But guess what? I know how to pick myself up, and I know how to, incorporate those tools that she gave me and utilize them. And so we're practicing.
Well, life is a practice, and every day we have to get up.
Absolutely.
And we have to keep on trying every day.
Absolutely.
And as you say, live your best life.
Yes.
Ashley, thank you so much for joining me. I can't think of anyone else to help me kick this thing off, and I appreciate everything that you do for everyone, and I appreciate you for being you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And I'm just so honored and thrilled. Like, it gives me chills just to be on this call with you, because like I said, we share some very special moments and experiences in Ghana, and to just see your growth and progression and to be here is truly an honor, and I don't take it lightly, and I'm so grateful. And I thank you for the work that you're doing and, spotlighting entrepreneurs who are moving forward, and even yourself. You're shining light for so many people by doing what you do and highlighting the stories of other people who are doing it as well. So please continue to keep going. And if there's anything I can do to continue to support you, please let me know, because I would love to be a part of your journey as well.
Thank you so much. And I look forward to us having another conversation again soon.
Absolutely. I would love it. Just let me know when.
Will do.